The scent of burnt pancakes drifted through the thin apartment walls at 6:47 a.m., followed by a child's giggle and a man's gentle laughter. Sarah pressed her palm against the shared wall of her studio apartment, feeling the vibrations of life happening just beyond the plaster and paint. She'd been listening to these sounds for 3 months now, her neighbor Marcus and his 4-year-old daughter Lily creating their morning chaos with a tenderness that made Sarah's chest ache with a loneliness she couldn't name. At 32, she'd never imagined her life would look like this, divorced, childless, eating microwave dinners alone while scrolling through other people's happiness on her phone. But here she was, living vicariously through the walls, finding comfort in strangers, joy because her own had run dry somewhere between her ex-husband's affair and the empty rooms of her new life. That Saturday morning, Sarah decided to take out her trash at the exact moment she knew Marcus would be heading to the park with Lily. She wasn't proud of her calculated timing, but she craved even the smallest human interaction, a smile from the little girl with pigtails, a friendly nod from the father who always looked perpetually exhausted but never defeated. "Miss Sarah." Lily's voice rang out in the hallway, and Sarah felt her practiced smile become genuine. "Good morning, sunshine," Sarah replied, crouching down to meet the child's bright eyes. Lily wore mismatched socks and a tutu over her jeans, a combination that perfectly captured her fearless spirit. Marcus appeared behind his daughter, a diaper bag slung over one shoulder and that familiar look of controlled chaos across his face. "Sorry," she gets excited when she sees friendly faces. "We don't have many around here." "I'm honored to make the list," Sarah said, standing up. She noticed the dark circles under his eyes had deepened since last week. "Rough night." Lily had a fever. "Nothing serious, but you know how it is with kids. Every cough sounds like the end of the world at 3 in the morning." He paused, then laughed softly. "Actually, you probably don't know." That came out wrong. The assumption stung, but Sarah kept her smile in place. "It's okay. Heading to the park. Every Saturday, rain or shine. It's our tradition." The way he said, tradition, carried weight, like he was building something sacred from ordinary moments. "You're welcome to join us if you're not busy." The invitation caught Sarah off guard. She glanced down at her stained sweatpants and unwashed hair. "I'm a mess." "We're all a mess," Marcus said simply. "But Lily would love the company, and honestly, so would I." Adult conversation is a rare commodity these days. 20 minutes later, Sarah found herself on a park bench watching Lily conquer the jungle gym with fearless determination while Marcus explained how his wife had died 2 years ago during what should have been a routine surgery. He spoke about it matter-of-factly, like someone who'd told the story enough times that the edges weren't quite so sharp anymore, but Sarah could see the pain still living in his eyes. "I'm so sorry," she whispered, the words feeling inadequate. "Thank you. The worst part isn't the grief anymore, it's the fear. Every time Lily gets sick, every time she's out of my sight for more than a minute, I'm terrified. Because I know now, really know, that everything can disappear in an instant." He watched his daughter wave at them from the top of the slide. "But she keeps me going. She's the reason I get up and burn pancakes every morning." Sarah felt tears threatening and blinked them away. "You're a good father." "I'm a terrified father who's making it up as I go," he corrected. "But I love her more than I knew it was possible to love anything. That's got to count for something." Over the next few weeks, the park became their Saturday ritual. Sarah found herself looking forward to it with an intensity that surprised her. She'd bring coffee for Marcus and juice boxes for Lily, and they'd talk about everything and nothing while the little girl played. Sarah learned that Marcus worked nights as a nurse, that his mother helped with childcare but her health was failing, that he survived on 4 hours of sleep and sheer willpower. She also learned that loneliness could exist in different forms. Marcus was lonely for adult partnership, for someone to share the weight of his responsibilities. Sarah was lonely for purpose, for mattering to someone, for being needed. Their loneliness, she realized, spoke the same language. One evening, Sarah heard crying through the wall. Not Lily's childish tears, but deep, broken sobs that could only belong to Marcus. She stood in her apartment for 10 minutes, debating, before knocking on his door. He answered with red-rimmed eyes, trying to compose himself. "Sarah, sorry, this isn't a good time." "What happened?" "My mom had a stroke. She's stable, but she won't be able to help with Lily anymore. I don't know how I'm going to do this alone." I can't afford full-time childcare on a nurse's salary, and I can't quit because we need the insurance, his voice broke. Sarah didn't think. She just acted. I'll help. What? I work from home as a graphic designer. I can watch Lily during your shifts. I want to help. Marcus stared at her like she'd spoken a foreign language. You barely know us. I know enough. I know you're drowning and someone threw you an anchor instead of a life preserver. Let me be the life preserver. For 6 weeks, Sarah became part of their constellation. She'd arrive at Marcus's apartment at 6 p.m., help Lily with dinner and bath time, read her stories until she fell asleep. Sometimes Marcus would return at 2 a.m. to find Sarah asleep on his couch, and he'd drape a blanket over her before heading to bed himself. Other times, they'd talk quietly in the kitchen, sharing the kind of honest conversations that only happen in the vulnerable hours of the night. Sarah's life transformed. She wasn't just existing anymore, she was needed. Lily started calling her, Miss Sarah, my friend, and the title filled spaces in Sarah's heart she didn't know were empty. One night, Marcus came home early to find Sarah dancing with Lily to a Disney soundtrack, both of them laughing and spinning in the living room. He stood in the doorway watching, and when Sarah finally noticed him, the look on his face made her freeze. I wish someone loved me like that, he whispered. Sarah's heart hammered. Like what? Like you love her. Like it's effortless and natural and not born from obligation. He stepped closer, and Sarah could see tears in his eyes. You showed up in our lives and just loved us. When you didn't have to. When we were nothing but noise through your wall. You were never just noise, Sarah said softly. Marcus reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, the gesture so tender it made Sarah's breath catch. I'm falling in love with you. Is that crazy? We've known each other for 3 months. If it's crazy, then I'm crazy too, Sarah admitted. They stood there, two broken people who'd found each other through thin walls and burnt pancakes and the courage to be vulnerable. Lily, oblivious to the moment, tugged on Sarah's hand. Miss Sarah, are you going to be my new mommy? The question hung in the air, impossible and perfect. Sarah looked at Marcus, then at the little girl who'd helped her remember what it felt like to matter. I'd like that very much, she whispered. And in that moment, in a modest apartment that smelled like lavender detergent and childhood, 3 lonely people became a family. Not through obligation or tradition, but through the simple, revolutionary act of showing up for each other when it mattered most.